Hey everybody, this is Sam. I wanted to come to you with a quick video of a requested topic that I got back when I posted a poll or a questionnaire on Instagram about some videos you'd like to see. And one of the topics that came up was handheld flashlights. And I thought that was really good because it's something that's not talked about super often outside of marketing things. And it's a topic that I actually wanted to cover when it comes to daily carry items. So a long time ago, late last year, I posted an article on hitthewoodline.org about daily carry and what I carried at the time, and this light was in that article, and it generated some topics of conversation, but everybody wanted to focus on all the other items. And realistically, the thing that you use the most out of your carry items is probably going to be a light. So with that being said, what I wanted to do was predate and talk about some options as well as kind of the history of lights for me. So right at a decade ago, I guess it would be, when I got into concealed carry as well as everyday carry, when I came of age, lights really hadn't came too very far. Let me move this out of the way right now. They hadn't really came too very far, in my opinion. We had obviously progressed from carrying around a massive mag light everywhere because that's not really conducive to daily carry. But the technology wasn't really that great, and this was the era of 300 lumens was going to melt your face off, and we had strike bezels and everything else. And I actually picked this Surefire 6PX Defender at Walmart, of all places, back when Walmart actually carried good stuff, and they were freaking out and going super liberal and decided to liquidate all of their tactical items, like they sold all AR-15s and everything else that they used to carry for dirt cheap. Granted, they weren't that great, but still, picked this up for around $25. At the time, they were usually going for around 60 or 80. So that was pretty solid because I was coming from a really cheap Streamlight like ProTac that I picked up for, again, about the same price, new, which was kind of the going price for those at the time. And this was a huge upgrade. So I had a heavy full body aluminum construction light, a strike bezel because that's what you needed to defend off people. You could smack them in the face and rake it down their face, and you still could do that. There's still some merit to that. And I had a blazing 300 lumens. So the issue that I always ran into with this light was 300 lumens isn't a ton. It's used really well in this light. It's plenty, honestly, for a lot of situations. But if you're having to break past photonic barriers and things like that, you really need more lumens and candela and a more concentrated beam to do that with. And this is more of like a 10 yards and in type thing, and it does pretty well for that. But it doesn't really help you muck or manage unknown contacts at any real good distance. It's also an all or nothing beam. So you push the tail cap, you get 300 lumens. It is a clicky tail cap. There is no constant on if you tighten it down. It's click. That's all you get. You can partially pressure to momentarily turn it on, which is what I always did. Runtime is not super great, and if you were tasking with this light, you definitely ran into issues with battery life, as well as, again, you get that all or nothing 300 lumens. And if what you're intending to do is blind someone or gain an advantage in a dark situation, 300 lumens is great. But if you're underneath your hot water heater or your dishwasher and you're trying to look at something, that's a lot of dang lumens lighting up an area, and you're basically blinding yourself. So from this, I actually picked up I think it was a Streamlight HLX handheld. I don't have it anymore. I actually gifted it to a friend, and it was pretty good. But again, it was bulky, it was big. The head on those is like twice the size of these, which is kind of wild. But it had a lot more lumens and a lot more output, and that was one of the redeeming factors to that. It was also cheap. In the grand scheme of things, it's pretty cheap. I think it was like around that $80 mark for a really good solid flashlight. And those Streamlight HLX are pretty good handheld lights. The rifle lights kind of suck. I might talk about that later if I talk about weapon lights. But the handhelds were okay. But The thing is, as you progress, or at least as I progressed, I wanted to scale back the presence of my carry. I didn't like a lot of bulk in my pockets. I didn't like a lot of bulk at my waist side. So at the time, I was really trying to streamline things as much as possible. One thing about this lot that you'll notice is there's no pocket clip. So one of the workarounds to that was the Theorem switchback at the time, the Theorem switchback, and I think Surefire actually made pocket clips that went on these as well. Surefire pocket clips are notorious for sucking. They break super easy if they get hung on a seat belt or anything like that. They'll either bend out or break. And the Theorem was the go-to solution to that, and I actually have one on this other lot that I'm going to talk about. But because of the size of this, when I had the Theorem on it, it was actually the only time I've ever been made, in a way, for my carry gear. I was at a hotel and checking in and had this on the Theorem clip to the the inside of my pocket. It was running on the clip was outside of my pocket like a knife pocket clip was, and a guy noticed it, and he happened to be a really cool gun dude behind the counter, and that worked out pretty well. But was someone who's not in the know going to notice that? Maybe not. But that kind of made me think about, okay, this might have a little bit more presence than I like. So I moved to the HLX with a different pocket style clip. It sat a little bit deeper, so I was okay with carrying it in the pocket because the top of the toe cap set really, really flush. But again, the head was a little bit big, and I didn't really care for the all or nothing that lots were having at the time. So enter the Surefire, you may be seeing a theme here, EDC L2T. That's a mouthful, but this lot has been absolutely stellar. I've had this for about 6 years now. You can see there's plenty of pocket wear on it. It's gotten plenty of use. I've taken it to low light classes. I use it all the time in my daily life. What's super great about this lot is it's a dual mode or a gas pedal style switch. So there is no constant on unless you fully tighten in the tail cap. If you partially push it, you get a measly, I think, 6 lumens, and then if you fully push it, you get 12,000 or 1,200 lumens, not 12,000. My gosh, 1,200 lumens, and that is excellent for my daily life. I can task light with it. I can take it. I'm just like out inside with the dogs. Like, hey, what's that? I can partially push it and get just enough light to kind of see what's going on. And then if for some reason I need all that, I can just mash the piss out of that tail cap, and all of a sudden I've got the advantage in the low light situation. And that has been really great. It's also really nice because, again, for tasking, if I'm up under something and needing to shine it on something, or if I'm working on something small or in low light, up close, I don't have to deal with all 1,200 lumens at one time. I can just have 6 lumens. And that's just been really, really handy for me. I've had 0 problems with this lot outside of the pocket clip. And that's what I was talking about. Surefire pocket clips, I don't know why. They charge a premium for the lots. The lots are solid. I've never had a problem with the Surefire product. But their pocket clips absolutely suck. And I wish they'd fix that, because they're really great because of how they sit. They sit really low in the pocket, and it's actually really nice. And that's one of the things that's nice about this lot, is you can see how much smaller and slimmer that head is. It's got a lot less pocket presence. So what I ended up picking was the Theorem switchback. Now, this does not have a pocket clip on it, and I'm actually happy about that, because the way that the old pocket clip styles are made, and I think the current ones are now, is like you have the ring on one side and the pocket clip on the other, and then like it doesn't really sit good in your pocket, and then like this much of the lot has to stick out of your pocket in order for it to work. And that's basically what made me on that lot, was there was so much presence sticking out above the pocket, and it was so bulky. So there is no pocket clip on this, but what's handy is the way that the ring fits in your pocket is it doesn't really move around on you a whole lot. I am trying to work with some companies, or at least a company I'm trying to work with, making an improved pocket shield of sorts, to where this and a spare mag, or a similar light and a spare mag, can fit in your pocket without moving around, and it also kind of shields the outline of it. I think that's going to be really great if I can get that going. And I'll insert some B-roll footage here of me actually drawing the light out of the pocket. It's super smooth, super easy, super fast. It's very repetitive, which is nice. I don't have this moving around a whole lot, but if it was stationary inside a piece of Kydex or something, it'd just be that much better. So, why handheld light? Outside of tasking, managing unknown contacts, as well as possibly diffusing a situation or making sure a situation does not escalate to deadly force that doesn't have to. Everyone wants to run a light on their handgun because it looks cool and it's great, but you may not need that light on your handgun at the time. If I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, if there's somebody walking, in my direction in the parking lot, and I blast them in the face with, 6 lumens or even 1200 lumens out of my handheld, then that's less of an egregious thing than if I had drawn my handgun and blasted him in the face with, 600 or 1,000 lumens from a handgun light. And I know that to many that will seem very like, yeah, duh, but there are a lot of people out there who don't think about those things. It's also one of the things that helps keep people from getting shot. So say it's the middle of the night and you hear someone trying to get into your house, or you hear something coming from like the end of your hallway near your daughter's room, if you've got like a teenage daughter, and you go down the hallway and you turn the light on your handgun and you just start blasting. Well, turns out it's her boyfriend that snuck in through the back window to see her, and while you may not like that, it's not really caused to kill him. If you had a handheld light, you could shine on that, and it gives you that mandatory pause of moving from handheld light to then I have to present the gun. So it gives you that moment in time to think and process about what's going on, and I can muzzle someone in a sense with a light without ever having to actually have the handgun muzzle on them. And that's more of a topic for an actual low light class. If you haven't taken low light courses, I highly suggest getting into those. It's something that if I can ever get the training program up and running like I'm planning, it's something that I do plan to offer. But anyways, that's handheld lights in a nutshell. There's a whole lot more to them. There's a lot of nuance and technique and stuff like that I'm not going to get into here. What I will say is pick a reputable company. I've used Surefire for a long time. I've always had really good luck with Surefire. I know that ModLight and Cloud and everybody else are coming out with a ton of stuff, and that all seems well and good. I just do not have the personal want or need to move away from this light here. If I do pick up anything else, it would probably be something like a Stiletto from them, because I like the profile and function as well as the USB charging capability. Currently I use rechargeable Surefire batteries in this because I pack a solar panel and stuff like that in my go bag or my sustainment bag, and 123s are compatible pretty much across the board on all my stuff, and that's a big thing to me. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informational. If you did like it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. As always, feel free to comment, share this, let everyone know about it. Check out my sponsor, AT Armor. I am I guess you call brand ambassador. I don't really know. I'm not necessarily sponsored by them. I don't get a kickback or anything like that unless someone uses the link provided in my description or on my Instagram. I get a small portion of that sale, I believe. No one's used it yet, you sneaky devils. But I get a small portion of that. That way it can go towards helping fund different armor and things like that for me, or different things down the line. As always, guys, check out hitthewoodline.org. That's our main website. That's where a lot of articles and stuff are posted. I haven't been super active on there, but the others are definitely picking up my slack, and that's always appreciated. And as always, follow Omniapparatus Training and Consulting on Instagram. There's hopefully going to be more to come from that in the future. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Take it easy. Stay safe. God be with you and your families.